Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, an assembled company, welcome to the World Storytelling Cafe. And it is Tuesday, so it's our International Young Tellers, or in this case, our International Young Teller, the wonderful Kenza, who's sitting somewhere around the Mediterranean, and on the boot that sticks out into the Mediterranean. And we're all very jealous because there's warm air coming up from the Mediterranean at the moment. But we are getting some of it, thank you very much. So, well, here in Britain, I'm talking, so I say we, like Britain is the whole world. But in fact, we are a tiny island in the sea. But so globally, we might have someone else joining us. Excellent. So, but we will start with Kenza. So, with amazing Kenza, would you like to tell us a story?
Yes. So, hi everyone. My name is Kenza, and I'm 15 years old, and I come from Italy, but my mom and my dad is from Morocco. And today I'm here to tell a story about Juha, two stories that tell me my grandmother um, me the last week on the phone. So I'm here to tell everyone this story. So the first story is about Juha and the priest. So it started when his mother, not wanting to see Juha anymore, sent him to serve as a priest. The priest asked him, "How much do you want as a salary?" "I just want one egg and a day and enough bread for the filing. That's all, but one condition, that you don't fire me before the all sinks in the ivy." The priest so satisfied. It's not easy to find another servant so cheap. The next morning she gave him an egg and a loaf of bread. Juha began to eat the egg with the point of a pen. Every time he licked the pen, he took off a huge morsel of bread. "Hey!" he cried at one point. "Bring me more bread. This is not enough." The priest asked a basket full of loaves brought. And so every morning, poor me, took the priest. He so reduced me to poverty. It was still in the middle of winter, and it was necessary to wait several months before the oil sang. Then the desperate priest said to his mother, "Mother, tonight you will have to hide in the ivy and imitate the cry of the owl." That same evening, the old woman hid in the ivy and began to say, "Meow, meow." Then the priest said to Juha, "Listen, the owl is singing in the ivy. No, you're fired." Juha packed up to go back to his mother. When he passed in front of the ivy, he had a fit of anger and started throwing large stones at it. Hidden in the foliage was still the priest's mother, who kept going. "Meow, meow." So Juha killed the old woman, shouting, "All of the bad season suffer pain and suffering." So this is the first story about Juha and the priest.
Thank
And
you. Thank you. You can tell another story in a minute, but I noticed we have Nigeria has joined us. Hello, Nigeria. Lena. Now, which of the sisters are you? It's been a long time.
Radia. Good evening.
Good evening. Do you want to tell a story, and then we'll go back to Kenza?
Okay.
Introduce yourself first. Tell everyone
The
who you
name
are
of my
and where you are.
my name is Radia Sadiq, and I live in Abuja, the capital of Nigeria in Africa. The title of my story is Rehana's Ramadan. Rehana and mother went out. Rehana shouted, "It's Ramadan! Let's go and see the moon." So they went out and they saw a very thin crescent moon, which marked the starting of Ramadan. And for Hannah, it was her first time fasting, and she was so excited. So that night, they set up the decorations for the house, and then they went to sleep. So they woke up in the morning, well, at sometime before sunrise, to eat the pre-dawn meal so that they could fast during the day. So when she finished eating, she went to pray, and she went back to sleep. In school, Mr. Henry brought some cookies, and then he offered them to the class. But Rehana said, "No thanks, I'm fasting." Then her classmates asked, "What is fasting?" She said, "It's when you don't eat or drink during the day." Then fasting is when you don't eat or drink during the day. Then Jennifer asked, "Oh, that must be very hard. Are you sure you want to fast?" And then Rehana said, "Of course, I'm going to continue this." When Rehana got home, she went to her mother. "Mom, I'm so hungry. I can't fast anymore. Can I have a peanut butter sandwich?" Then her mother said, "But you're fasting." I know. Then her mother said, "Fasting is all about patience. Okay, come in the car and we'll go out." In the car, Mom took Rehana to a place. It was like the school cafeteria. There were lots of food, drinks, and then Rehana said, "Mom, are you trying to tease me? You know I'm fasting. Why did you bring us to a place where people are eating?" And then Mom said, "Rehana, you know there are many people in the world who don't have enough food to eat or enough water to drink. These are the people, so we're here to help them." Then Rehana cooled down. So she put on a little apron and a little head net, and she began to serve the less privileged people food. And when they got back home, Rehana was very happy to help people. And then it was time to break your fast. Her aunties and uncles and grandparents were there too for the iftar. And then that's how she spent all the rest of the days of Ramadan. That's the end of my story.
Whoa, and that was a beautiful Ramadan story. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is your sister there? Is she going to tell, or you by yourself?
I read it in a story.
Yeah, but is your sister there today?
No.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Well, you're representing the whole family. You're representing the whole of Nigeria. Marvelous. Fantastic. Papa C will be very disappointed that he missed you. Right, we'll go back to Italy now, and Kenza, because I know Kenza has always got another story in her pocket. Kenza, would you like to tell a story?
Yes, I have another second story. It's a very short, but it's about Juha and the thief. So once a thief had gone to rob Juha's house. After loading the loot on the shoulders, went out. Juha, who had seen him, followed him, carrying with him the Oswald goods left by marauder. Walking down the streets, the thief realized he was being followed and turned to ask, "You there, what do you want?" Juha replied, "I'm moving to your house. You took some of my furniture and I'll bring the rest. Tomorrow morning, good whiling, the woman and the children will join us. I'm so happy to leave one empty house like ours." When the thief heard these words, he was so worried that he said, "Take your stuff, but free me from your troubles."
Oh, wonderful. Now, Kenza, I've had a word with Mike, and if you work with Manuela and get the book together, we will definitely publish it. So you've got so you finish. You can have a day off, one day off for your holiday when you finish school, and then you have to be a writer. And no pressure, you understand. And, no, it'd be wonderful. It would be really good. But we'll produce it and have a sort of World Storytelling Cafe imprint, and yours will be the first book.
And will you edit it, John?
Pardon?
Will you be the editor?
Well, yeah. Well, it's going through the Manuela filter. So
yeah,
so in
so
fact,
my filter, but
yeah, I'll work on it. Yes, it'll be a combined project between the three of us. You two will do all the work, and I'll just put a name. No, it's been a wonderful evening. Radia, do you have another story, or were you happy with that just one story?
I will need some time to think of
that's
another
okay.
story.
Come to us next week with it. Then it will be ready. No, it's wonderful. We had a lovely week. We've had Italy and Nigeria, which I think is quite a good geographical spread. But Terry, we will now this is where I get the adults to tell you two how wonderful you are, because you both are. So Terry,
I'm also fasting.
Pardon?
You're fasting.
So Terry, what would you like to say to our two young ladies?
Well, I've actually communicated with them in the chat, and they both responded because they're young people, so they can do all multitask.
They can do all that stuff, but for the rest of the world, what
for the rest of the world, yes, I enjoyed all of the stories. I taught students who also fasted, so that I retired, but that reminded me of how hard it was for my students when they were fasting. And our stories from Kenza were just absolutely delightful. I enjoyed every minute today.
Thank
you. And Manuela, now you can poke yourself out with pride, of course, because you brought Kenza to us.
So thank you, girls. Both beautiful stories from Kenza and Radia. How old are you, Radia? May I ask? How old are you?
I'm 10 years old.
10, and you're fasting. Wow, that's very good. I have some students in Palestine who are also fasting, and I know about iftar and all the beautiful decorations in your home. It's a beautiful celebration. I really enjoyed the story because now I know what Ramadan is. I didn't know before. So thank you for sharing that story with us. And Kenza, the Joa and the priest, Joa and the priest and the old lady, or the late, I imagined her old. I don't know if she was old in your story, who was doing the owl. I love the sound that you made with I could actually see the owl, and this, I imagined her old, but maybe she wasn't old. And Joa and the thief again, another Joa story to add in our book, in our collection of Joa stories, which your grandmother, you heard it on the phone. Where does your grandmother live, Kenza?
So the last week when my mom called my mother from Morocco, and I asked her if she remember another story about Juha, because I want to tell to this storytelling cafe, and he's tell me this story, and I'm in the video call. She reading she tell me this story, and I'm writing this on yes, on my
Good,
paper.
good.
And I
Exactly what you have to do. Poor grandma. So you were
Yes.
video calling from
Yes.
Casablanca or Marrakesh?
It's from Casablanca, because
Casablanca.
it's mother of my mom, and the mother of my dad is from Marrakesh.
Okay. So you were calling your grandmother in video call, and she was telling you a story, and you were taking John. Isn't that marvelous?
That's very difficult. I've tried to do that, and I always cheat and record. Especially if it's in a language I don't understand. I record it and get someone else to translate it, and they do it very slowly.
Yes.
So I can write it down, but it's incredibly difficult to write down as you're being told.
Yeah. Well done, Kenza. Well done. And it was very short but beautifully told.
Yes, I think this short Juha story, it was very beautiful and meaning about the long story, because it's very short but it's very meaningful. So I like it a lot, the short story.
And they're John's favorites.
Yes.
Yeah. And Radia, I just love that. I loved your story. It was so. It gave it sort of gave a depth to what Ramadan's all about. It was just, and from a child's point of view, through a child's eye, it was fantastic. I think it should. Yeah, it's worth telling and retelling. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful story.
I'm going to retell your story, Radia. I will tell your story.
When I heard the story about Radia, because I'm fasting too, and I remember when I was very young and I do the fast, and this story is very beautiful, because I remember me when I was very young and I fast, and it's very hard, because when you very young, you want to eat, you don't know about Ramadan a lot, so it's very difficult. But when I grow up, it's the Ramadan. It was very very nice,
Easier.
and easier. Thank you, Radia.
Well, thank you both. And what have we got coming up at the cafe? Well, this Friday we've got Stories for Children at 6 o'clock in the evening, UK time, and that's Colin Owen from Northern Ireland, from County Antrim, and he's a beautiful teller, really good teller and songwriter as well, and so he's a joy to listen to. And then next Tuesday, of course, we have our young international storytellers. So, Radia, are you coming back to us and see us? Are you coming back to us again?
Next Tuesday.
I will try.
You'll try. And Kenza, of course.
Yes.
Jasna May's mum sent her apologies, but Jasna May is went to bed early today. Well, early. It's not early because, of course, it's midnight in India. So she stays up to come here. But if she gets too tired, of course, she goes to bed. So, but hopefully we'll have Jasna May with us next time. So that would make a trio of all three of you on. But you held it very well this evening by yourself. So thank you very much. And so we'll see you next Tuesday. So, and thank you, Terry and Manuela, for being our live audience. And thank you, Waleed, for flying the magic carpet one more time.
Yes, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.